Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word, love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shathir from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. Okay. And this is by a UFC fighter called Bryce Mitchell. Okay. A reporter asked him in the audience what he feels about the war that's going on with like Russia and Ukraine. Okay. And his statement voices the sentiment of many people here in America. Okay. Because what you have to understand is that it doesn't matter how powerful these elites are. One thing that they absolutely will not do, and that's go to war without the consent of the people. Okay. It doesn't have to be a majority of the people, but they have to have some type of consent from a, for lack of a better phrase, good number of people, all right, in order to justify their actions of going to war. So we're going to let this young man speak on it, and then we'll get some scripture.
You know, here's my first thought is I'm not going nowhere to fight none of these wars for these politicians. I'm staying at home, and when the war comes to Arkansas, I will dig my boots in the ground, and I will die for everything I love, and I will not retreat. If this country's invaded and everybody's saying, well, we gotta evacuate, we gotta leave, I will not. I will dig my boots in the Arkansas soil, and I will fight for the people that I love, for the land that I love, and the way of life that I love. But I'm not going overseas to fight. I don't know what's going on, to be honest, brother. I really don't. There's so much stuff, and I don't think nobody knows what's going on fully. There's been so much political corruption in that area. You got Biden and his son making a shit ton of money off of and using our tax dollars to bribe their people. That's treasonous, in my opinion. So you got Hunter Biden and his son using our tax dollars. Hey, if Ukrainian government, if you don't do this, we're taking your tax dollars. He shouldn't be giving our tax dollars to that country anyway. We got veterans out here sleeping on the street, and you're going to give our freaking tax dollars to these Ukrainians and all that. Brother, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm not going over there and fighting, and God bless anybody that's over there is fighting, and I hope that this shit just gets solved. And, man, I don't like war. You know what I mean? I don't want people dying and all that stuff. I don't want to be, but I don't know what's going on. There's so much stuff that I think that's corrupted that we just don't know what's truly going on over there. And I pray all those people are safe.
He said a lot, very few words, as the scripture says. All right. He said, look here, man. I am not going over across the world to fight a war that's basically a war for the politicians. All right. Because there's a old book. Actually, there's a couple of books. One's by a general. I forgot his name. It's called War is a Racket. Okay. And then, dang, I forgot the name of it, of the other one. But it was basically saying that all wars are bankers' wars. Okay. All the wars that America has fought, for lack of a better term, has never been in the interest of the people. Okay. It's all about them. This government sends its own people, even people of their own nationality, to fight in a place and die for nothing. They're not fighting for freedom. They're not fighting for justice. They're not fighting for equality or democracy or any of those things. These young men and women are going overseas and getting smoked and coming back with PTSD, homelessness, and many other things, all for the benefit of the elites, the bankers, and these big time politicians. Okay, that's why the scripture says uh, about how the rich hate the poor. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 20. And it says, I might have to start up. I'm going to start at 18, Ecclesiasticus 13 and 18. It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor, right? Because the goals of the rich and the goals of the poor, they don't coincide. They'll never mesh. For the objective of the rich is to become more rich so they could obtain more control and power, while the desire of the poor is merely to have a way of living so that they can provide for themselves and provide for their family. They're not asking to be rich. They're just asking to have a fair chance to have a decent quality of life. And see, these two ideals do not mesh together. As long as one group of people have a set mindset and another group of people have another set mindset, that they'll never come together. Okay? It says, as the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. Why? Because we have a group of individuals who are extremely wicked. According to Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Malachi 1, 3, and 4. They are called the border of wickedness. Okay? It's been outlined in many books how the elite, okay, the upper echelon of people who we barely see, okay, they view everybody outside of their own little circle, even their own people, as sheep, as useless cattle. They're feeders, they're useless eaters to be used at their discretion and for their disposal by any means that they see fit. They're of the mindset that if you cannot uplift yourself, if you do not have the wisdom and intelligence to strive to better yourself instead of being a brain dead moron, they're like, we have no purpose for you. There is no purpose for you. The only thing you deserve to be is merely fertilizer from the ground once you get put in the spirit world. That is the mindset of the elite. Okay? Verse 20. It says, as the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. The rich hate the poor. As I said before, their mindset is that there is no purpose for the poor. Okay, and they show you that in all of these movies. When you watch Snowpiercer, when you look at movies like what's that, Elysium, The Hunger Games. Okay, all these movies depict a world where you have the absolute rich and the absolute poor. Okay, and the rich are not doing anything to uplift the poor or make sure that they have a fair chance like them to pull yourself up, or at least have the opportunity to be able to provide a living for themselves and their family. And see, you have many people in America who are poor and struggling. And like this man here, they cannot figure out, why is it that you want me to go over and fight for you? Okay, as this man said, and we got veterans out here who fought for this country and they're homeless. Okay. When you watch other videos, you have people expressing the sentiment, why do you want us to go fight for a war for you when I'm working 3 jobs and still can't make it? Why is it that I cannot find a job? What is the purpose of going to college? Why is it that I cannot afford a house or a car? Why is it that I'm paying $3 extra for eggs? This is the sentiment and the mindset of many people in the United States, just like this young man. Why should I go and fight when I don't have the means to take care of myself? Why should I fight when my government doesn't care about me? And that's a legit question. Okay, you got these guys, these big time elite people, they want folks to go over and fight, but they're not providing for their own. And this just goes to show Ecclesiastes 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. All right. These people, the elites, are evil to their own people of their own tribe. So if they can't be good to their own people, what makes you think that they're going to go out of their way to make sure that people not of their nation who are poor can have an equal opportunity? What makes you think that they're going to give anybody else a fair shake to be able to have a chance to do something for themselves? This truly goes to show you how wicked this man is, and he's willing to do anything and everything that it takes to accomplish his end game. And see, the more that these devils start revealing their hand, the more that dissent and dissatisfaction in America is going to increase. Okay, I did a video with a soldier that came back home and he got found guilty because a chick told a lie on him. He's realizing that he fought for nothing. This is a man that served in the army for over a decade. This dude got a Purple Heart. All right, we all know you don't get a Purple Heart for just sitting on your butt. All right, that man has been through some things. And just to come back home and feel unappreciated? No. This is the same mentality that the people of the United States are feeling. Even though they haven't gone off to serve their country, they are experiencing the same dissatisfaction, the same lack of loyalty from their government as this soldier has experienced. And the more these people continue to see that they are nothing in the eyes of the elite, it's only going to stir up more anger, hostility, and frustration amongst the American populace. And that's going to bring us to the point of 2nd Ezra 15 and 14, where it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." And that's what this man's telling you. He's telling you, look here, man. I'm not going to fight in any war, but if that war comes here, he was like, I basically boots on the ground, 10 toes down. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to die. Whether it be a fellow man, whether it be the government, this guy's like, I do not care. And you have many people who are of the mindset like, hey, I am ready to take up arms against the government. Many American people are starting to feel this way. All right, and it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, and that sedition means a violent uprising. And why is there going to be a violent uprising? Because of the lack of loyalty that the American people are now starting to experience by their government. Everybody's pretty much finding out what it means to be a nigga. That's, to put it very plainly in a non-eloquent fashion. Right? Everybody in America is starting to realize how it is to be a nigga. Okay, and it says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. These folks are not going to care about the police. They're not going to care about the alderman or the mayor or the senator or the House representatives or the people of Congress. They are not going to care. Because as the old saying goes, when people lose it, that's when they lose it. And right now we are at a point in America where the majority of the American people have lost it, or they're on the verge of losing it. They're tired, they're angry, they're frustrated because they see no hope in sight to this solution. And as the scripture says, and I could probably end it on this one, this one a little longer than what I expected, but that's okay. Let's help to spell people right. But the scripture basically says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Yep, Proverbs 29:18. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Okay, and as I just mentioned, we are in a point in time where people have lost it, or they are on the verge of losing it. And they see no hope, no way of getting out this jam. They're working 3 jobs and still can't get by. They're working 3 jobs, can't get food. They can't get health care. They can't pay rent. They can't buy a home. They can't buy a car. They can't afford their own health insurance. They can't buy medicines. They can't go out on dates. They can't take a vacation. Basically, they're in a cycle of work, survive, and die. And they see no remedy to this satanic cycle of madness. And because of that, many people are going to die, because folks are going to be like Popeye, that's all I can stand, because I can't stand no more. Which is going to lead to violence, civil unrest, and mass death. So that's all I wanted to show you on this. I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.